The truth that can change everything, the secret power hidden within you. Introduction. Have you ever noticed that, no matter how much you achieve, it seems like something is still missing? Strange, isn't it? We chase success, recognition, and pleasure, but deep down we still feel an emptiness that can't be filled. What if I told you that this very emptiness could be your greatest power? Today I'm going to share with you a secret that can transform the way you see life. A simple secret, but one that few dare to live. Maybe you'll find that being nobody can make you stronger than you ever imagined. Curious, right? So, leave your like here on the video, subscribe to the channel, and activate notifications, because this journey is just beginning. Get ready, because in the next few minutes we're going to walk together on a path that will challenge your beliefs, shatter old illusions, and open doors to an experience of peace, love, and presence that is already within you. Many believe that being powerful means accumulating titles, money, followers, but true power does not arise from what is outside. It is revealed in the silence of what is within. Imagine a light bulb. No matter how expensive the structure is, without energy, it doesn't illuminate anything. And we are like this. External achievements, but without an inner connection, we remain erased. The secret is not in being more than others, but in discovering your spark. Think of a musician. He can have the most expensive violin, but if he doesn't learn to play, no sound will come out. The same happens with us. It doesn't matter the setting, but the connection with what moves us inside. When you access this connection, even in simple things, you perceive a power that does not depend on applause. And perhaps that is the biggest shock. Being the most powerful version of yourself is not about being someone everyone recognizes. It is being the one who, even in silence, carries clarity and presence. Have you ever seen someone walk into a room and everyone feels something different, without saying a word? This is the real secret. But it only makes sense when we understand the difference between human time and eternal time. Our existence seems long until we look up at the sky on a starry night. A human being who lives 100 years is like a drop in the face of an endless ocean. Think of an ant walking on a football field. For it, it's infinite, but for us, just a few steps. This is how human time is in the face of the universe. Eternity is not measured in days, months, or centuries. He is beyond the counts on the calendar. Have you ever noticed that a few seconds of deep silence can seem more vast than years of rushing around? Eternal life is not a distant promise, but an accessible dimension in the now. Many believe that prolonging life is truly living. But what's the point of collecting decades? If the heart remains empty, eternity is not in duration, but in depth. The present moment, lived with awareness, opens like a portal. And this portal leads us to an even greater dilemma: how to balance the desire to create with surrender to the flow of the eternal. On the spiritual journey, many are divided between two paths. On one side, there are those who want to manifest, to use the mind as a creative tool. On the other, there are those who simply seek to become enlightened, surrendering to the flow of life. Both have value, but each brings pitfalls. Manifesting gives you a sense of control, but how many times do we become obsessive, trying to force life to bend to our desires? It's like holding wet sand. The tighter you squeeze it, the more it slips through your fingers. Enlightenment, on the other hand, invites us to give up control, but if misinterpreted, it becomes passivity. The famous, waiting for the universe to do everything for me. The real dilemma is not choosing a side, but learning to dance between the two. There are times to plant seeds with intention, and there are moments of surrendering to the invisible in trust. Balance is like walking a tightrope. Lean too far to one side, and you fall. But when we find the center, a new lightness arises that leads us to think about where we really place our attention. The mind is like a knife. It can cut bread to feed, or wound if used without awareness. Have you ever noticed how a simple thought can change your entire day? If you wake up in gratitude, the world seems light. If you wake up complaining, any detail becomes a source of irritation. Focus not only shapes what we see, it also shapes how we feel. And here a strong truth emerges. We are all slaves to something. There is no neutrality. We always serve an idea, a desire, a narrative. If you only pay attention to immediate pleasures, you end up a servant of anxiety and emptiness. But if you choose to train your gaze towards what builds, life changes direction. Think of a garden. You can spend hours pulling weeds, or you can plant flowers so strong that the weeds won't have room. So it is with attention. Where it rests, something blossoms. And this blossoming invites us to take an even deeper step towards silence and emptiness. Our brain vibrates at frequencies, like an orchestra playing several notes at the same time. When we're agitated, it's as if each instrument is competing for attention. But in the inner silence, everything harmonizes into a soft melody. The mind is not just thought. It is energy in motion. Zero, in this context, is not absence. It is power. Imagine a bow being pulled. The closer it is to rest, the more force it accumulates for the shot. The void works like this. It seems like nothing, but it contains the possibility of everything. On the other side of zero is infinity, a limitless vibration. And life happens in this back and forth between silence and expansion. Many try to reach infinity by chasing experiences, but whoever dares to return to zero discovers a power that does not need to be manufactured. It's like diving into a calm lake and noticing the reflection of the stars, already present. This return to silence is not an escape. It is a reunion. And this reunion leads us to understand why spiritual masters spoke so much about emptying oneself. Think of a lake. When it's full of leaves, twigs, and dirt, the water becomes cloudy and the reflection is lost. But when the lake is clear and serene, it reflects the sky like a perfect mirror. This is how the soul is. When loaded with beliefs and wounds, it distorts the divine light. But when free and empty, it becomes a pure reflection of that which is eternal. This was the secret that Jesus embodied. He wasn't full of pride or conditioning. He was like a serene lake. Therefore, it reflected the presence of God without distortion. Many of us strive to be good, strong, and wise. But if the heart is agitated, the image transmitted will always be blurred. The power of emptiness is not absence. It is transparency. It's like cleaning a dusty window. The light was already there. It just needed space to pass through. The less I accumulates, the more space there is for the divine to reveal itself. In this state, love flows naturally, compassion arises effortlessly, and the whole life begins to vibrate with clarity. We have all felt moments of peace that do not depend on anything external. Maybe looking at the sea, listening to soft music, or resting after a tiring day. This state of stillness, called bliss, is not chance. It is our essence. It's like the blue sky, always present, even when covered by clouds. The mind, however, complicates what is simple. Instead of embracing peace and we chase distractions, we seek pleasure in shopping, achievements, likes. But these joys are like fireworks. They shine for seconds and then go out. Inner peace, on the contrary, is like the sun, silent but constant. When we discover that peace, love, and joy are not goals, but memories of who we already are, everything changes. We no longer need to hunt for crumbs of pleasure in the external world. We recognize that the source already flows within us. But a curious question arises: if everything is already within us, why do we feel separation? This question leads us to face the greatest illusion, the illusion of separation between us, science and God. Many people think that science and spirituality are rivals, but they both look at the same mystery, just in different languages. The scientist looks at DNA and sees patterns. The mystic closes his eyes and feels the invisible intelligence. They are different doors to the same temple. The great illusion is to believe that we are separate from the whole. It's like a fish searching for the ocean without realizing it's already in it. We breathe, we think, we exist within this energy field. Science calls it the universe. The spiritualist calls it God. The name doesn't matter. What matters is how we relate to it. The more this understanding grows, the more we see that there is not an I here and a distant God there. The same atom that vibrates in a star now vibrates in your body. Separation is a trick of the mind, like a clouded lens. And when the lens clears, we see that light and shadow are part of the same game. A cosmic game that balances forces of creation and destruction. When we look at the night sky, we don't just see points of light. We see witnesses of a great cycle. The stars represent the creative force. Planets, systems, even the atoms that form our bodies are born in them. We are made of the same stuff that lights up the universe. But where there is creation, there is also destruction. Black holes devour matter, swallow light. They are not monsters. They are cosmic recyclers. Like pruning a tree, painful in the moment, but vital for growth. They remind us that nothing stays the same forever. Between these extremes is space, the silent stage where everything happens. He neither creates nor destroys. He only sustains. And so it is with life. We need the energy that builds, the strength that dismantles, and the emptiness that balances. And it is in this silence that we find the final key. Becoming nobody, to be everything. From an early age, we are taught to be someone, to win titles, to prove our worth. But the more we try, the more masks we wear. One at work, one with family, one with friends. At the end of the day, the soul gets tired because none of these masks are who we really are. Being nobody is not about nullifying yourself. It is about freeing yourself. It's like the actor who, after the play, leaves the stage. It doesn't disappear. It just returns to its essence. This also happens to us when we let go of roles and expectations. Life stops being an effort and becomes a natural flow. In this fertile void, everything makes sense. Love overflows without conditions. Creativity comes effortlessly. The presence becomes so intense that every detail vibrates, and the ordinary becomes extraordinary. But only for those who decide to live this practice on a daily basis. Now that we're walking together, the question is, what are you going to do with all this? Will this content be just another forgotten video? Or will you try it in your everyday life? Silence your mind for a few minutes. Observe your thoughts without attachment. Make room for the emptiness to reveal itself. Think about it. How many situations would be different if, instead of being automatic, you were aware of your presence? How many times could I have chosen peace but let anxiety take over? Life doesn't change with big leaps, but with small, conscious choices, repeated day after day. And today's choice could be the turning point for everything. So tell me, are you willing to live with more attention, presence, and freedom? If so, leave a comment below with what spoke to you most in this video. And of course, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share it with someone who needs this message. Because together, we can form an awakened community that transforms itself and the world.